congratulations on the release of the company. What has that been like creating this? What was the creative process like for it?
I mean, yeah, if you were to ask me, okay, so startups in any climate are difficult. Like it's volatile. It's a ton of work. There's zero live work balance at all.
Mhm.
But the bigger thing was that we founded a company that exists within the industry of film in a historic double strike, which I don't recommend. It was a lot of work. Like it was having to sort of navigate that storm. I remember when the strike first happened, which ironically, when the strikes first happened, we were like, this is exactly why we founded the company. Like this is the mission. This is like I'm a SAG member, our CEO is a WGA member, and we were like, this is why we did this. Um, but then obviously we're like we can't actually pursue our business model because we can't talk about movies, we can't promote movies, we don't want to be, we like obviously we don't want to be promoting, but we're also like how are we going to survive?
Yeah.
And so there was lots of pivots and lots of discovery that happened sort of in the first phase of the creative, which honestly I think was a blessing because what ended up sort of happening is we had one idea, one business model going, this is what Kino is. And then when the strikes hit and we weren't allowed to pursue that at like the fullest capacity in the fullest way, we were like, okay, well, let's talk to thousands of filmmakers. Let's talk to filmmakers from all around the world. Let's like chat with the movers and shakers. We created a film festival, a short film festival, because we were allowed to do that. And we were like, let's try to find the best pieces of IP, the coolest stories, the coolest storytellers. And then let's like let's test our tech to make sure nothing crashes. And B, let's also have conversations to test our hypothesis. I'm like, I believe that this is what the world needs, but let's chat with the people that are like, boots on ground in the trenches and be like, is this actually what you need? And what was cool was that we were able to pivot our business model based off of talking to thousands of people. And so now, being sort of like now fully coming out into the world, it's been great because we just listened. And I think that sometimes when any company is starting, allowing yourself the freedom, I don't want to necessarily call it leisure, but it did at the time feel like leisure, like giving yourself permission or the leisure to actually like have that many conversations and just listen. I'm like, that's gonna help in the long run. I'm so glad we did it, but that was like it was a really interesting listening, just listening. That was a pivotal part of the creative process for us, and I think it's kind of what makes us a little bit more unique is just how mission driven we've been literally since the beginning.
Yeah, it's such a creative idea, and I think it's so needed in the industry. But for those who maybe haven't heard of it, could you talk a little bit about what it is and what it's about?
Yeah, absolutely. So in a nutshell, Kino's like an interactive digital movie theater, and so essentially what how I was feeling was I was going, man, like I I know it's a little bit different in Canada because you guys have Crave, which is amazing. But in the US, if I turn on my Apple TV, it's like I have Netflix, I have Hulu, I have Showtime, I have Stars, I have Peacock, I have Max. There's like I have Amazon, I have Apple. Like there's so many different platforms, and all these platforms are libraries. And so it's all static. So what ends up happening, and I'm sure other people can relate to this, is I will end up going on Netflix, I'll search, and I'll switch over to Hulu and I'll search. And then I'll go over to Max and I'll search. And then I get kind of like fatigue of like making decisions. Then I go to TikTok and then I'm on my couch and I'm like, well, I just won't commit to anything. And then I'm just not watching any movie or any TV show because the commitment of choosing one in all these different libraries is too big. And so basically on the consumer side, like on the fan side, I'm like, when we had DVDs, there was at least like the special features or like the director's commentary or like the extra juicy bits that were attached to that particular film. And with streaming, we lost that. I'm like, I loved those, like the behind the scenes, the at a glance. What is the director's take? Why did they choose that shot? Like that's the stuff that like I really geek out over. Um, and so we were like, what if we make things interactive? Right? Like, so imagine your favorite actor is in a new movie. You come onto Kino, you pull up the app on your Apple TV, and the difference of just like watching the movie statically is you're watching that film with the cast and crew live. So imagine a pre-show where like the cast and crew's all there in the green room and they're like, we're so excited, we're getting ready, da 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 da. Oh my gosh, keep an eye out for this Easter egg. We're giving away these props. You pop champagne, and then you watch the movie with them. And then after the film, it's like a live after show where you at home, you're watching the movie on your TV and you're submitting questions to the cast and crew on your phone, and you're you're pulled up from the live studio audience where you might be able to ask your favorite actor a question face to face. Like it's having giveaways, props being given, having the director come out. Like it's very much like a Saturday Night Live meets the movie, where it's an event on the event. And what's nice about this is we don't have that interactivity. And there are Q&As that happen obviously for films, especially with festivals and stuff, but unless you're flying to that festival or unless you're in like New York or LA, you're not getting the experience.
Yeah.
And so basically this is what we did. And so for fans, it's amazing because there's so many, massive people are craving authentic, people are craving interactivity and participation, no longer just like watching something like flat. It's like, how do we bring it to life? And then on the fan side or on the filmmaker side, what I'm so excited about is because we're a tech company as well, like first and foremost, we're a tech company. Um, we give that filmmaker the full analytics and the full data panel of everybody who bought tickets, so that they know, if I know that I have women between the age of 25 and 30 were my hottest market, and I know that Toronto, Hamilton, and Windsor were my most popular cities, and I sold no tickets in the western part of the United States. Well, if I'm then making my distribution plan and I'm trying to figure out where I want my theaters to be, I'm not going to pay for theaters in Western US. I'm going to be striking up a deal with Cineplex, and I'm going to be trying to have because I have data, which is what so many filmmakers don't have, is like the information of who's watching their projects. And so anyway, so that's sort of in a nutshell. It's an interactive digital movie theater.
I mean, it sounds so cool, especially for the fans, but I think it's so beneficial, as you said, to have analytics and figure out kind of where you should be going, especially for new and up and coming filmmakers as well.
Totally. Well, and I mean, what the story that I kept hearing over and over and over and over from so many filmmakers during the strikes was they'd go, okay, I made my $5 million feature. I bootstrapped it. I got money from my family. I took out I got tax credits and soft monies from whatever state or province I ended up shooting in. And I took out a loan and I pulled it together and I managed to raise the money, which is a miracle in and of itself. And then I shot the movie, and then I got all the way through post, and I was so happy that I managed to finish a freaking film, that eventually I got a meeting at Netflix, or I got a meeting at Hulu. I got a meeting at insert streamer here. And when I went in, they go, okay, yeah, this is great cast, great film. We'll offer you 300,000 for it. And they go, no, it's a $5 million movie. What are you talking about? They go, yeah, no, but hold on, it's worth so much more than that. Prove it. And they can't prove it because you have no power.
Yeah.
It's like you're just supposed to go, oh, thank you, sure, yeah, I'll just take whatever you'll give me. Please put it up. But it's like, we need to be able to make this. We don't have a middle class in film and television anymore. The streamers kind of, the pie is bigger for sure. We have way more content than we've ever had, but we have way less money than we've ever had. And I'm like, make that make sense. I don't know why have we lost the middle class? So this is like, what's great about this is financially, when we have the ticket sales, the filmmaker gets the ticket sales, and then also the information, and that's going to help them leverage their best deal in distribution, because they can go back to that Netflix, Hulu, insert streamer here and say, well, I actually had 500,000 people show up to the digital live premiere. These were the analytics. This was the ticket sales. So it's worth a lot more than $300,000. And if you don't want it, I'll go there.
Yeah.
So that's to me, I'm like, power to the people.
Yeah, it gives them some power back, which is what we need in this industry.
For sure.
But I know you said there's also been like a mini film festival, and you've talked to obviously filmmakers and fans. Where do you see this company as a whole going within the next 5 years, ideally for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think I want to do, right now we're on track to do 50 films this year, 50 digital premieres, which is great. Actually, I don't know if I'm allowed to say how many we have locked in. We're well on our way. We're well on our way.
You have a few.
We've done a few even this quarter, but we have tons and tons and tons coming up. And so I'm hoping that that number continues to grow and grow so that by the time we hit 5 years from now, we're doing 200, 300 films a year just in digital premieres. And then I'm excited to do our own Kino originals, partner projects where we are creating movies from the script phase. We're involved with films from the script phase. I feel like if we fix this distribution funnel issue and we're able to sort of prove out this one piece, we're going to be able to go, okay, if we can fix it from the very end, like when we're almost at the finish line, imagine how much more we can do in terms of how much money we can make for these filmmakers if we start from the very beginning. And so for me, I'm like, I can't wait until we're doing more Kino originals and partner projects, and we're just telling so many more unique, diverse stories. Because for me, Fast and the Furious 47 is cool, but those aren't the movies I watch. So I'm excited for more art house indie films where we're hearing different perspectives and different POVs.
Definitely. And I totally relate to that. I went to a festival recently and there was so many news stories as opposed to like remakes. And don't get me wrong, I love remakes, but I feel like we're in a point now where we need news stories. So I love hearing that there's going to be new ones coming.
Yes, yes.
We're
We're working on it.
working on it. But I know you, aside from working for this company, you're also an actress and you have a lot of things on the side. How do you find a work-life balance? Like, what's that like for you?
I'm like, what work-life balance? I'm like, something I should talk to my therapist about.
Yeah.
No, I mean, what's so nice about this is I just am obsessed with film. Like, I'm just obsessed with this industry in every sort of way. And so with with this, I mean, Kino came because I'm an actor, and being on sets, I was seeing the inefficiency, I was seeing the inequity, and so being able to look at it and go, "Whoa, okay, I want better for myself when I'm playing on both sides of the playground."
Mm.
Like if I go and I make my own movie, I want there to be more hope and more I want us to keep being able to tell those stories, and then when I'm an actor, I want to be on those stories, right? I want to be shooting those types of projects. So it's a little selfish because it's like really I'm like, dang it, I just want to like I want to create the full, I want to like help build the playground so that me and my friends can, hop around from, the monkey bars to the swings. This is a weird analogy.
It
But
works though.
but no, acting stuff it's like it's my heart. I audition. I feel like it's the creativity that also helps keep things going. It's lovely. I sometimes joke. I'm like, when I'm working on Kino and then I go and I take an improv class, or I go and I do an audition, or I spend a day on set. All of those things help funnel back into Kino. In the same way that if when I'm an actor and I'm working, it's like there's always the crossover. It's like a flywheel of like it's not as if I'm an actor and then I'm also a dentist on the side. It's like
It's
it's
all
it's it's
connected.
all film. It's all film, and so it all feeds into each other. And so, that was a long-winded way of saying I don't have a work-life balance. I have absolutely none. But we're working on that.
It's a
It's
process.
it's just, I love it. So it's I don't know.
I
Sometimes even
mean,
when I'm
as long as you love it, it's not really working. So,
right, right,
yeah,
right.
we'll go with that. But my last question for you, obviously, you have a lot going on, but what's next for you personally? What's the future hold?
My dream, and we will just all manifest this, is I want to have like a life and a career like Reese Witherspoon. Like
Okay.
when I think about like she is a successful actress, she's a successful businesswoman,
Mhm.
she is a successful finder of stories. And I feel like what's so lovely about her is she is constantly taking what the people are saying into consideration for every choice she makes on the business side and within art. You know, it's like she won't when she's choosing books and she's testing it within her community, it's like that is like the OG form of like democratization. Like she's just like, how do I give the people what they want? And it's an ongoing group collective conversation that's being had. And for me, I'm like, I just if I love that she is just yes and to all of it.
Mhm.
There's no um there's no part of no one's looking at her and being like, "Oh, that dream's too big. It's too
Yeah.
much." You know, she's able to be like I'm honoring all facets of myself and I'm not feeling like I have to like put myself in a little box because the world's telling me to. So, in terms of what's next, just working towards that. I'm like every day I'm like, you know, what would Reese do? And
What would Reese do?
one day I hope to get to go for lunch with her or something, or just, you know, buy her a coffee and just hear about her journey because she's truly the roadmap. Like when I think about the blueprint of what I want my life to be, I'm like, she's just charismatic and fun and just bubbly and perfect.
Fair enough. I'm manifesting that for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
But congratulations on everything again.
I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And thanks for chatting with me.